accent. That's all.
No.
Are we on? Wait for her to come back up.
Okay.
The whole room's waiting on you. Good evening. This is the City of Hannibal official council agenda. It's Tuesday, November 7th, 2023, in council chambers at 7 p.m. I'd ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilman Phillips,
Here.
Councilman Welch,
Here.
Councilman McCoy,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Here.
And Councilman Franke.
Present. Okay, there being a quorum present, I'll call the meeting to order. I'll give the invitation. If everybody will stand, please. Glorious God, you promised to open the doors of blessings and abundance for your people. We ask that you would work mightily in us today. Come upon us and cause us to have a productive meeting. Lead each one of us so that we can make fruitful contributions at this time. Enable us to think and strategize in ways that will achieve great results. Purify our thoughts and motives so that each one of us will enter this meeting desiring the good of others and the pleasure of your name. Amen. Councilman Welch, would you lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need approval of agenda, but we need to modify. April Azate will not be able to make it tonight, so we'll eliminate that off of the agenda.
Motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Any discussion on the agenda? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Next is approval of the minutes of the regularly scheduled council meeting of October 17th, 2023. I need a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next is approval of payroll and claims for the second half of October 2023. Looking for a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on payroll and claims? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we now move to bill number 23-030. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 23-030, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal rezoning a tract of land, all of that part of out of lot 66 in the City of Hannibal, Marion County, Missouri, from E commercial to A1 and 2 family, amending the city's zoning map accordingly. Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Welch,
Yes.
Councilman McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
and Councilman Franke.
Yes.
I declare bill number 23-030 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have bill number 23-032. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 23-032, an ordinance to authorize the mayor to adopt on behalf of the city acceptance of the areas indicated on the attached map and indicates such acceptance to the Missouri Department of Transportation or the Federal Highway Administration of the amended urban boundaries as updated by the 2020 census. Second and final reading. Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Welch,
Yes.
Councilman McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
and Councilman Franke.
Yes. I declare bill number 23-032 duly approved and adopted on this day. We'll now move to Sixth Ward candidate forum. I'd ask Nathan Munger, Van Sorrells, Greg Boffer, Leonard Rosenkrantz, and Paul Ewert to come over to the side of the room, please.
Is this them outside?
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Nathan Munger is first on the list, so I would ask him to come up forward, and for everyone else to move to the outer room. Would you close the door? Basically, what we're going to do, we're going to ask everybody the same questions. And then the council will determine, who will represent the 6th Ward until the meeting, or until the election in April. So the first question is, why are you interested in representing the 6th Ward as the City of Hannibal's council member?
I've been a lifelong resident of 6th Ward. I've moved away a couple times, but every time I've been in Hannibal, I've been there, living in the house I grew up in, the neighborhood I grew up in, so for basically 40-some years. I've been more and more involved in our neighborhood, working as the president of our neighborhood association and working with those, and it's just been spurred more of an interest, especially when the seat became open. And basically what I've said is, when I've been asked before, is, if God opens the door, I'm willing to step through it. So, to do my best.
Okay. The second question is, what are your goals and objectives if selected as a 6th Ward council member, not only for your ward, but as the city as a whole?
Number one, to be available. The availability to make sure that people can reach if there are problems. That is something I've experienced a problem with in the past, and I want to make sure that that is never an issue. As far as for the city itself, I'd love to see Hannibal continue to grow, not just in the 6th Ward, which is relatively small geographically, but Hannibal across the board. I'd like to see city streets improving more. As much work has been done, we've always got more to do. Especially what is in our ward is down at the intersection of Pleasant and St. Mary's, and we've had the issues there with Hucks. We'd just like to see those things be improved as well.
Okay. What experience do you have with budgeting and budgeting processes used?
I'm a pastor. I'm an associate pastor at Tabernacle of Praise. And, of course, we have to budget every single year, so we're doing those. Matter of fact, getting ready to step into that now. We have a budget of a little over $300,000 for our facility, our church. And working with those and with all of our different departments. So of course, monthly I'm on the elders board, so we deal with that on a monthly basis as well.
How would you promote economic development for the city of Hannibal?
We've got so much in Hannibal to provide, especially out in the manufacturing area and off of Warren Barrett. We definitely don't want to see large buildings being just sit empty. So basically, really promoting those as well as the small business. We have so many small businesses that come in. If you look at the town of Hannibal, we are not as big as some larger areas, such as St. Peter's, where I lived for a while. But yet, storefront retail is going to be the same, if not more, than in some of those areas. And so it's hard for small businesses to start up to see what we can do to even help out with that.
Okay. Does council have any questions? Okay.
Yes, I do. Mr. Munger?
Yes, sir.
We currently have a public speaking section of the council, period of time, and this could go a couple ways. Right now we have an open forum. You do not have to pre-disclose your topic, and then there's been some debate on whether a pre-disclosed question for the council is required. Which one do you prefer? Which one do you see as better serving the public?
I prefer a one that you have at least an advance notice of the topic. Everyone should be prepared for that. But there's also times when maybe that's not even enough notice. I think the real question would be how much notice would be needed.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you stand in Van Sorrels, please? Mr. Soros, we'll ask everybody the same questions that ask of previous members coming in, and this appointment by the council tonight would be until the April election, which I would urge everyone that signed up for this to file for that seat. So first of all, why are you interested in representing the 6th Ward as a City of Hannibal council member?
Well, I think I'd like to do my share to support the community. Jeff Veach encouraged me to partake in this adventure, and I think I'm definitely a fresh face in this community, so I think I might have some fresh ideas also.
What are goals and objectives if selected as 6th Ward council member, not only for your ward, but as the city as a whole?
For the city as a whole, I would like to see our art program, if not expanded, at least carrying on the way it is. I'm really impressed with the murals that are around town, and I'd hate to see them cut back, and because there's so much history in this town. I'd like to see some economic development come in, perhaps some sort of tax credit to entice people to come in. I know we did get a big Jones poultry plant, but I've never seen anybody in it. I don't know what's going on over there, but that's what I noticed.
Okay. What experience do you have with budgeting and the budgeting process used?
Well, I was an outside salesman in my previous life, and I had to make quotas, watch expense accounts, make sure sales kept customers happy, and in this case, our customers are the city and the people in the city of Hannibal.
How would you promote economic development for the city of Hannibal?
Well, like I said, I think the use of tax credits. I think I know we have a new industrial park, but I haven't seen any activity on it other than maybe the road. And I'd like to see another store chain come into this town. Walmart, Hy-Vee, and Walmart, Aldi's, and County Market they kind of got a little monopoly there. I mean, a lot of the people I know go to Quincy to spend their grocery money, so that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. And then one of the council people ask about public versus open forum. In other words, there's a 6:30 slot for people to come in and speak on any subject that they might want to. And how do you feel about that versus having something on the agenda?
I think it's a good idea, but from what I understand, you have had that in the past, and the council members sit around and talk to themselves because nobody shows up. I don't know. I can't think of how to entice people to come in during this time, but perhaps going around to the constituents in the 6th Ward, at least maybe I can get some of them to come in and discuss some things. I think it's up to the councilmen to get their ward to come in and talk.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Would you send in Greg Balfour, please? Greg Balfour? Good evening. We're asking each candidate the same 5 questions, and then the council will, determine who will serve in the seat until the April election. So I encourage each one of you to, file for that seat, when it comes up, and filings would be, I believe, in December. So why are you interested in representing the 6th Ward as a City of Hannibal council member?
My interest mostly is from having a civic-minded set. I look for ways that I can contribute back to our community, since I benefit fairly well from living around good neighbors and having been affiliated with this city all of my life.
So what are your goals and objectives if selected as a sixth ward council person, not only for your ward, but for the city as a whole?
So for the ward that I'm in, I would just like to focus some attention on the usual issues that we have with certain road repairs and drainage issues that are kind of unique to this sixth ward area. From a citywide viewpoint, I feel like we should be focusing a lot on attracting more industry and business into our town. We are very lucky to have as much tourism as we do, and it's a wonderful thing, but it's not the only thing to base our economy on.
Okay. What experience do you have with budgeting and budgeting processes used?
I am the manager of the networking for a global company. I manage 33 sites to ensure that all of their networking and telecommunications works 24/7, 365, and I've been doing that for 24 years now. So all of my budgeting must be accounted for all of the equipment and services they have for up to a 5-year projection. And I've been doing that for 20 years for the budgeting.
Okay. How would you promote economic development for the city of Hannibal?
I feel like we would have the ability to offer some incentives to industries that would hopefully benefit us in this area. We are local to both river and rail here. We also have nearby access to several different directions of highway through the Midwest and connecting us to the rest of the country. So with our access to land, with our access to multiple modes of transport, we should have the viability to entice businesses to come here.
Okay. And then another one that got tagged on was we've got a open forum that we have at 6:30 that anybody can come in and sign up and talk versus being on the agenda for something that's defined. What's your thoughts on that, one versus the other?
I think it's beneficial to offer as many opportunities for the citizens to be heard by the council, to understand what's going on. I think informal environment helps some people to communicate better than a formal environment. So the 6:30 meeting, if it can be slightly less formal structured, then it may open more people up to speaking candidly. I think it is a good benefit to the city.
Okay. Thank you. Would you send in Leonard Rosenkrantz, please?
Certainly.
Thank you, Greg.
I appreciate that these are in order in our folder.
It helps that.
Mine wasn't.
Good evening. We've got 5 questions that we're asking all the potential council members. And if you're not picked tonight, encourage you to definitely file for the seat when it comes open, be in December. So number 1, why are you interested in representing the 6th Ward as a City of Hannibal council member?
Well, there's a couple of reasons, and they're a little bit selfish compared to a lot of people's. The first one is, I would like to help to see how our tax money is spent. And I know, we've got a 38 million plus budget, and probably a lot of that's cut and dried, but the part that you get to have a say on, I think it would be good to participate in that. And the other reason is I like to learn new things, and this is a new endeavor, and I'm retired, and there are things that you can learn with anything like this. I learned a lot when I was with the Board of Public Works. For instance, tonight I learned about the street that you're closing over on the south side, and I looked it up, and it looks like the shortest street in town. But then Edwards Drive is next to it, and it's half a block. So things like that. So
Okay. So what are your goals and objectives if selected as a sixth ward council member, not only for your ward, but for the city as a whole?
Well, for my ward, looking at traffic, obviously West Ely has become a major thoroughfare with the regional hospital out that way. And Munger is getting more and more busy as that's developed. And I have some ideas about what might be done there, small thing. And then citywide, I think our biggest issue probably facing us, is the hospital and getting that down and doing something with that area.
You're talking the old hospital?
It's the old hospital,
Okay.
St. Elizabeth's Hospital. Yeah, I think that's time. Not that stormwater isn't a big deal too, but that hospital it's got a problem.
Can agree. What experience do you have in budgeting and budgeting process use?
Well, I had a couple of years at the Board of Public Works and helped them deal with budgets. I helped to select the water treatment facility that the people of the town asked for, and we chose one of two options, and the one option we chose was maybe a little bit cheaper, but at a higher operating costs. And I think I'm proud to say that I think the operating costs were lower than what the engineers said. So there's that. And then in the 25 years I was at Continental, the last 10 in environmental, and the last 3 as environmental manager, I was part of the upper management team that made the decisions on day-to-day, week-to-week operations, long-term planning. And that's a company that's in excess of $100 million annual revenue. So I'm kind of used to spending a lot of money, other people's money, but in this case, some of it's mine. So
Sure.
And I just will go on record as saying that as far as that goes, I drive a 1993 Jeep Cherokee Sport, but 227,000 miles. So
Okay. How would you promote economic development for the city of Hannibal?
that's something that's easy to, it's easy to say, let's bring more business in. I think we have a lot of good businesses here now. They're having a problem filling their positions. And then a lot of new, smaller businesses, and they're having the same thing. Restaurants that I really like have to close early or close days. So instead of trying to bring in more business, I would say pay more attention to the businesses we have and work on training people to work in these areas. So that's what I do.
Okay. And then we had a fifth question thrown in about agenda. We've got a sign-up sheet that goes out basically 30 minutes prior to the council meeting that someone can speak versus signing up prior.
Right,
And,
Thursday before.
So ask basically how you see one versus the other.
Well, I like to have communication with the people. And I think they have a right to do that. And I understand that, during the meeting, you've got the agenda. Things have to be recorded. And it would be tough to do that on the fly. When at the board meetings, we would sign, people would sign up, and then we would have our discussions, and we bent over backwards to make as much time as possible for that. And there was a lot of discussion on some of this stuff, that was going on at the time. So I think the 6:30 thing is a good addition, and I say you've got a decent way of going forward with that.
Okay. Thank you. Would you send in Paul Hewitt, please?
Thank you, Lenny.
Evening. So we have 5 questions we're going to ask. We ask the same questions of everyone. if you're not selected tonight, we encourage you to, file for the seat in December. Of course, it'll be open again then. We're filling the seat, till April with whoever we select tonight. So first question is, why are you interested in representing the 6th Ward as a City of Hannibal council member?
Well, the opportunity that presents itself of being able to try out for a short time and do it for a short time to prove to people, if I would get nominated for this, then to show the community that I'm eligible to do it and able to do it, so that would make it easier for an election. I have had experience in quite a few boards over my career. I've been on the chamber board, I've been president of the chamber board, I've been president of the hospital board. I'm currently the chair of the Habitat board, so I have a lot of experience with boards and know and understand how boards work. I operated in my former life before I retired. I operated a multi-level organization that took care of different levels of people, and so the understanding of how to take care of different levels and separate all those out is something that I know and understand. So I feel I'm uniquely qualified for that.
Okay. So what are goals and objectives if selected as a 6th Ward council member, not only for the 6th Ward, but for the city of Hannibal as a whole?
Well, I mean, first off, I don't come in with any agenda. I think that going in with an agenda is the wrong thing to do. I think that Hannibal is a great city. I think Hannibal has great great people who live here, who work here, and so to see how we can make that better and see how we can increase the people wanting to come to live in Hannibal and keep bringing more businesses to come into town. I think that the problem with the stormwater needs to be addressed. I think that's something that needs to be done. I think that the goal there is that I don't think that we need to, as an organization, the council should not, as an organization, sit there and say, well, we know how we're going to fix it. We're going to pay for it this way. I think that it involves bringing people in. So one of my goals would be to really bring community input into finding out how to fix the stormwater. The same thing, I think that something needs to be done with the old St. Elizabeth Hospital. That's been kicked down the road a long time, and I think that something needs to be done with it and keep on. So those are a couple of things that I would look at doing.
Okay. What experience do you have with budgeting and the budgeting process?
Well, for 35 years, I managed Beth Haven Nursing Home and then Beth Haven Retirement Community. So I've done budgeting for HUD, I've done budgeting for Department of Mental Health, I've done budgeting for Health and Senior Services. So I've created the budgets and operated within them for all 35 years.
Okay. How would you promote economic development for the city of Hannibal?
Well, I think that we have some really good resources out there already. I think that the economic development that we have going on, is growing and has been good, and I think that we need to keep doing that. I think that the utilization of going out and just finding ways to publicize what's going on and making that better through social media. I love when you see in national news that Hannibal is being nominated as one of the small towns in the nation, recognized as that. Those are the kind of opportunities that we have. I think that we sometimes ignore the guy standing behind you. Mark Twain is known worldwide. Nobody knows where Hannibal is, but they know Mark Twain. And so that's a resource that I think that we have, and we need to keep utilizing that.
And then we had a question based on the agendas. We've got a sign-up sheet that we utilize for people to come in and speak prior to the meeting versus being able to come in prior week and sign up for the agenda. How do you feel one versus the other?
I don't know. I think that we need to allow people to be able to come in and speak. Not everybody, no offense, but the agenda is a little bit difficult to find. to know ahead of time. As a common citizen, you have to know where to find it and to know when you can find it. So I would also be in favor of allowing people to come and speak. Just sign up and come and speak. I think that as the council, the responsibility to listen to the citizens is incumbent upon them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay, council, the next on the agenda is the appointment of the 6th Ward Council member. You've heard everybody's answers to the 5 questions, and now it comes down to choosing one of those. So does anybody have any ideas, any preferences?
I really like Nathan. I know him to be a really good person.
Are you making that motion?
I'm making the motion.
Do I hear a second?
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
Okay, roll call.
Councilman Phillips,
No.
Councilman Welch,
Yes.
Councilman McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
and Councilman Franke.
No.
3-2. So, Nathan Munger. So then I need a motion to adjourn sine die.
Whoa.
No?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You'll take motions for
I'm sorry.
as many motions as you
Okay,
have for
I'm sorry.
candidates.
I am out of order then. So,
I'd like,
any other motions?
yeah, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Paul Ewert.
Here, second.
Second.
Roll call.
Is there discussion?
Just go ahead, discussion.
Sorry, guys. I feel like crap today and I sound worse. Talking.
I've got it too.
Talking makes it a little worse. I'll try and keep it brief. Paul is far and above the most qualified candidate, and we need some more experience on city council, frankly. That's it.
Anybody else? Roll call.
Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Welch,
Oh.
Councilman McCoy,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
No.
Councilman Franke.
Yes. That was prearranged.
Any other?
Yes, I'd also make a motion to nominate Leonard Rosecrans.
I'll second.
Discussion?
I'm sorry, who's second?
Franke,
I seconded
Councilman
it.
Sorry,
Franke.
I just didn't hear.
I'll say a little something about Lenny,
Oh,
too.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, we don't do this every meeting, so.
Lenny has a very strong sense of right and wrong. Not quite as much experience as Paul, but a lifetime of it. He'd make a great candidate.
Any other discussion?
Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Welch,
No.
Councilman McCoy,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
No.
Councilman Franke.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Okay, with a vote of 3-2, Nathan Munger received the largest majority of votes.
Okay. Then I need a motion to adjourn sine die.
Before you take that motion, I just wanted to thank all the candidates for coming in. I'm sure you were going to get to that, but I mean, honestly, there wasn't really a bad candidate in my
No,
opinion.
there's
I think
not.
everybody really brought a lot to the table. So
Encourage everybody to sign up for the
right.
general election.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very good group
Yes.
of volunteers.
So good.
So I need a motion to adjourn sine die.
so move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're adjourned. So,
Let them all back in.
let everybody back in. So again, gentlemen, it's a tough decision. Everybody, is qualified. Again, encourage everyone to, file when it's the seats open in December again for the April election. We've selected Nathan Munger to fill the seat until April. And if he'd come up, I'd swear him in for the remainder of the meeting. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Nathan Munger,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States
and of the state of Missouri and the charter and ordinances of the city,
Charter and ordinances of the city,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office.
and discharge the duties of my office.
Congratulations.
Looking to miss some work. Yeah. Apparently not.
You're good, okay. Okay, so I have to go to Alvin here in order to start. The agenda packets here. This is for closed session. Okay?
Okay, I call the meeting to order and ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilman Phillips?
Here.
Councilman Welch?
Here.
Councilman Munger?
Here.
Councilman McCoy? Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Here.
And Councilmember Franke?
Present-ish.
Sort of.
There being quorum present, I call the meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is Jason Krigbaum, Heartland Auto and Towing, request for street closures for the Hannibal Veterans Parade. Looks like Jim Hark's here.
Sketchy fella.
Sorry, guys, for the disappointment. Jason's out towing, so I'm elected here in this. Mayor, council, appreciate you putting us on the agenda this evening for this event. We're going our fourth year now of hosting the Veterans Day Parade. It'll be Saturday, November the 11th. As indicated in the packet, the lineup starts at 9 o'clock on Broadway at 10th. It'll go the length of Broadway, turn left on Main, end at the foot of Cardiff Hill. Immediately following the parade, there's going to be transport carts to take the veterans who are participating in the parade up to the Veterans Memorial that was newly constructed. I believe Parks and Rec has put in some new bricks. A lot of them are excited to see that. Currently, we have about 30 entries in the parade. So I don't know how much it'll grow from there, but I'm hoping all the public comes. Madam Clerk, did you receive the certificate of insurance today?
I did.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a little delay getting the certificate of insurance. The insurance company's website was down statewide. They couldn't get it. I was kind of getting nervous there towards the end, but I believe everything is in order for you folks. If there's any questions, I'm here to entertain any.
Certainly a worthy cause for our veterans, and I hope that, you have good weather and a good turnout for the parade, and I'll entertain any questions from the council for Mr. Hart.
You do every year, right? Yep.
It's the fourth year that we've hosted.
Okay. Looking for a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. All right. Jeff, from Irma, you're up next. Risk Management Grant Award, $8,027.75.
Actually, we're going to be happily surprised.
Oh, nice. You have a surprise for us then.
Well, I hope so. Like the mayor said, my name is Jeff Harp. I'm one of the loss control consultants with MIRMA. MIRMA is the self-insurance pool that the city's been a member of for several years. Not only do we process and handle your claims, but we spend a lot of time, money, and effort promoting the best practices in risk management. And we do that through our newsletter, our seminars, annual meeting, multiple on-site visits, and that list goes on and on. Also, you're eligible to take advantage of the different reimbursement programs that we have. And one program in particular, and the reason why I'm here tonight, is our risk grant program. It was established several years ago to help cities offset some funding for equipment you identified a need for that fits within our risk management mission statement. This past year, we received 3 applications from the police department, and they were awarded the following. Less lethal rounds for $822.75. Body cameras for $7,500 and a car camera for $3,375. In total, $11,697.75 was awarded to the city. I'd like to thank the police department for taking the time to fill out these applications and getting this money up here to get this equipment in their hands. So with that, I'll let you get back to your meeting. Thank you.
Certainly appreciate it.
Take that check, sir.
I'll actually take the check.
Thank you.
Happy meeting.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, the departments do a really good job of making sure that they pay attention to that. And I know this one was, Karen Porter did a lot of work on making sure that we got some funds back and things like that. So
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that they get recognition because they do a good job at making sure we're trying to obtain or get any of these that we can. And she did a really good job at getting all 3 of these for us.
Chief, please pass along our thanks.
And the equipment that they reimbursed for was plastic rounds, so we're talking about like shotgun rounds that actually project a object that's not a situation. We're actually having objects. So these things, along with our new are getting solved. Go a long way. But yeah, actually, it's all in it. Now today, our training.
Thank you. Under my name is a proclamation of appreciation for Ray Harvey. If you come forward, please. One of the neat things I get to do is recognize some accomplishments. And I ran into Ray several years ago when came mural on the side of City Hall. And got acquainted with him then. Well, we had conversations and several times we've been back. And had a chance to talk to you then. And I know several people around big small girls raised friends with trips up. Part of what happened here at City Hall, funds were collected from the mural. Real successful. This has been coming for a long time. COVID happened. Ray and I could look up. Finally, we're able to put lights on the mural and calls. We had out of town patrons that were interested in lighting their mural. So impressed. Public Works did it. Yes. But the lighting we were what I got is a short problem. painting is a lifetime passion for artist Ray Harvey. He's illustrated commercially for over 30 years. Ray will be the first to tell you that he's been an artist all his life. He has illustrations all around the country. He has been a featured artist for art. Ray's client list covers a wide spectrum of commercial. Whereas Ray loves painting murals of a wide variety of sizes. American flag is often requested. Juries often refer to graphic murals. Ray uses the technique to produce art of life. Feels his art belongs to the community. Whereas since 2008, Ray has been spending a lot of time in the city of Hannibal painting 24 murals. Various locations. Ray's work admired Hall on several buildings, several other locations in the city. Now, therefore, I, Michael J. Dawson, Mayor Pro Tem, hereby offer this recognition, congratulations to Ray Harvey for over 30 years. So, in witness thereof, I hear to set my hand off to on this day, November 7th. I also, so Ray can come back anytime he wants now. We've got the keys to the city to come back in and do his paintings. Very good. Congratulations. Sure. Ray has a couple words.
The residents of Hannibal, people wonder, how'd you get here? You're not from here. You painted 25 murals. It all started when I got a phone call from a stranger. 2018, didn't know who he was, and I'm proud to say he's now one of my best friends. He said he had a vision. He saw somebody working in another town. He said, I've got 3 buildings, I want 3 murals. Now, he didn't know me, he didn't know how much it cost, it didn't matter. He said he wanted to start an art revolution. So you guys are a revolution here in Hannibal. We got 25 murals. I've got plans to release a couple more, and we'll see what happens. But as was said, the mural on the backside of this building, 164 different residents helped pay for that mural. Contrary to what a lot of people say, I straighten out every chance I get, the city does not pay for these murals. There are 16 different patrons who have reached into their pocket, written a check, and they don't need to, but they like what it does for Hannibal. They like the spirit that it gives to the rest of the city, and I'm proud to say that I love coming back to Hannibal. Thank you very much. Thank you.
By the way, our mural outside now bears Ray Harvey's signature. That was done this afternoon, so thank you, Ray. Next is a letter of support for a HERO grant through NECAG. You've got that in your packet. I need a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. John Lang, 625 Grand Avenue, Police Department Management.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate the council's indulgence. I've had, over the course of the last couple of weeks, experience with law enforcement, which I really wasn't eager to have. On the 18th of October, we had a burglary at a residential property that company owns that I'm responsible for. The police called me, and I went to the scene, and the officers there handled it very professionally, very well. We looked everything over. We found damage and a couple of missing items. And I told them that I would come back in the daytime and make a more detailed inspection, which I did. I reduced that to a memorandum and took it to the police station. When I took it to the police station, no one was home. And I found that to be, something that I think shouldn't happen. So I went to the doorbell and rang it and waited, and then if nobody answers the doorbell, you're supposed to pick up the red phone. I picked up the red phone, and I waited, and finally somebody came on. I guess I'm talking to 911 out on Highway 61 now. And when I finally got somebody on the phone, they said, well, we'll have somebody presently. Please take a seat. So I took a seat in the company of the soft drink machine there in the rather sterile lobby they have at the police station. And after about 7 minutes, I thought I could do better. So I made arrangements to come down to City Hall to talk to the head of the police department, the city manager. And I visited with Mary and asked for her to make an appointment for me. She made an appointment for me at 3:30 on Wednesday. And in the meantime, the city manager contacted the police chief, and he called me on the phone. We made arrangements to meet down here before noon on that same Wednesday. And I gave him the memorandum, and we had a nice chat. He acquainted me with some of the challenges that he has to face. And the best I can assess it is, it turns out that it's a management problem. And it's not a management, it's a management overall problem. And I could go on and talk about some of the things I was informed and comments on that, but I don't want to take up more time than I am allowed. On Monday, a week ago yesterday, my wife and I were out at Country Kitchen, and as we were leaving, we saw 2 flyers involving the mayor's race. And as I usually do, I picked them up and noticed that neither one of them had the legally required disclaimer, which is a violation of state election law. And so, once again, I tried to get in contact with the police department and didn't have any luck at that, so I short-circuited it and called 911. And I told the lady that answered the phone at 911, I apologize for calling you on what you may not perceive to be an emergency, but here the violation of an election law of the state of Missouri may not constitute an emergency, but my emergency is I cannot get in contact with a Hannibal police officer. And we discussed that very briefly when she told me that, making a 911 call if you don't have an emergency is against the law, and I know where you live at 625 Grand Avenue, and I'm going to send a police officer out there. And I said, would you please? And so a police officer showed up, and he was nice, except when I provided this to him, I said, this is a violation of the law, and you're in law enforcement, here you go. And he told me that that was not under his purview, that was a law that they did not enforce, much like a freight train blocking a Hannibal City street. So I found that to be frustrating. So to make a short story even shorter, what I thought I would do is bring this down. Mayor, I'm going to hand it to you, and my advice is hand it to the city manager and see to it that this gets to wherever it's supposed to go. What I would suggest that officer should have said to me was, thank you for being an observant citizen, and we'll see to it that this gets to wherever it's supposed to go. Now, that might be State Highway Patrol, it might be the MEC, but wherever it's supposed to go, I'll ask you kindly that you see to it that it gets there. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, John.
Melissa Coggle, City Clerk, Municipal Election, April 2nd, 2024.
Because we're not tired of campaigning or electioning yet. In accordance with the provisions of Section 17-.01 Charter of the City of Hannibal, a general election may be held for the purpose of electing a mayor, councilman, and other elective officers of the city for the purpose of deciding any questions that may lawfully be submitted to the electors. At this time, I hereby request that the council approve a first reading to bill number 23-033, which authorizes a municipal election to be held Tuesday, April the 2nd, 2024. The City of Hannibal municipal election schedule provides the election of the first, third council members for a term to expire April of 2027, and a special election for the 6th Ward councilman for a term to expire April of 2026. The positions are currently held by Darrell McCoy, 1st Ward, Stephen Franke, 3rd Ward, and the 6th Ward seat recently vacated by Jeffrey Welch. Candidate filing for the above-mentioned position. Oh, did I? Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Don't go. Sorry.
You like me, I'm not sticking, I'm not going anywhere.
Candidate filing for the above-mentioned positions will commence Tuesday, December the 5th, 2023, at 8 a.m. in the city clerk's office and conclude on Tuesday, December the 26th, 2023, at 5 p.m. Should you have any additional questions, council, I'd be happy to try to answer.
Bill number 23-033 to follow for a first reading. Andy Dorian, Director of Central Services, a couple items of bid approval and sale of city-owned property.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. 2 items tonight. Back with some more sales of city-owned property. Recently went out for bid for the sale of 2426-28 Market Street. The high bidder was Chester Hill at $1,001 with a resolution to follow. And then the other was 1908 Gordon to Kathy L. Taylor and Samuel C. Smith for $900.
Resolution number 2485-23 to follow. Questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Ryan Nyson, Fire Chief, Hannibal Fire Department, Fire Truck Purchase Agreement.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council, good evening. On October 3rd, I was here and I asked for approval for us to use Sourcewell in lieu of the normal bidding process and order a fire truck up to $865,000. We've worked with Banner Fire, created a spec, and they have submitted a contract for us in the amount of $864,825. I'm asking for approval tonight for the Mayor Pro Tem to execute the subsequent agreement and all necessary documents going forward for the contract.
So questions of the Chief?
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Chief. Mike McCard, Building Inspector.
A couple of months ago, application received vacated part of Choteau Avenue, Choteau Street. It was never developed. Went to planning and zoning, and they decided to go ahead and expand that and make the entire area of Choteau to vacate. No department heads had no objection.
Okay.
So we're going to do it.
Bill number 23-031 to follow. Now have bill number 23-031. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So moved.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 23-031, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal vacating a tract of land known as Choteau Street, which is part of the Buchanan's Addition, City of Hannibal, Marion County, Missouri, first reading.
Now have bill number 23-033. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 23-033, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal providing for a municipal election to be held Tuesday, April the 2nd, 2024, for the purpose of electing council members of the 1st, 3rd, and 6th wards. First reading.
Now have resolution number 2485-23. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2485-23, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute a special warranty deed to Kathy Lynette Taylor and Samuel Christopher Smith for the sale of city-owned property located at 1908 Gordon Street in the amount of $900. Councilman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Welch?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
And Councilman Frankie?
Aye.
I declare resolution number 2485-23 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now have resolution number 2486-23. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2486-23, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute a special warranty deed to Chester Hill for the sale of city-owned property located at 2426 and 28 Market Street in the amount of $1,001. Councilman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Welch?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
And Councilman Frankie?
I declare resolution number 2486-23 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now move to closed session in accordance with RSMO 610.021, subsections 1, 2, and 18A. Admitting myself, city manager, city attorney, city clerk, Andy Dorian, Chief Naki,
Tricia Sheltry?
Tricia Sheltry, Eric Graham.
Any other takers out there? Anybody else interested? I'm just kidding.
So I need that approval for that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Move
Councilman
to-
Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Welch?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
And Councilman Frankie?
Okay. Move to closed session. Thank you.
How you been?
I've been great.
I think you already.
For the news, Muddy River, I wanted to see if you would want to make a comment about
Good, how you doing?
your new position.
I recognize that as being a fake.
Yeah. What skills did you have to get trained to?
That sounds good.
Right.
Huh? I totally get that. No worries. I don't know, but I'll get you on Facebook. So, yes. I don't.
On there, if not, my phone number's also listed on there.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
If not that, I'm out of town.